available in more homes than the Pac-12 network. We are the podcast of champions.
They give it back out to the 30, or down to the 20. All the band is out on the field.
I'm David Woods from Bruin Report Online.
And here he goes, Miles Jack.
And I'm Ryan Abraham from USCFootball.com.
Liner going to try to sneak it ahead. Touchdown, SC.
We are the podcast of champions.
Welcome everyone back to the podcast of champions. I'm David Woods from Bruin Report Online, the UCL site on the 24/7 Sports Network.
Very good one, Dave. And I'm Ryan Abraham from USCFootball.com, the USC site on the 24/7 Sports Network. And together, we make the podcast of champions, talking all things Pac-12 football in Russian, in German, or whatever.
I don't know what that was.
I think it was kind of Russian.
There was a lot going on there. I think I screwed both of us up, which is actually perfect for a live show.
That was good. Yeah, we're live. So if you're listening on our regular podcast feed, thank you for doing that. But we're also, for the second week in a row, live on our YouTube channel. You guys got us up above the 100 subscribers, and now we have like a regular URL. So we're getting like a legit YouTube channel here pretty soon. We're just kind of building it. We threw everything in the fire last week. But overall, I think it was pretty good feedback, Dave, with the YouTube. I mean, a lot of people don't really want to look at us, but they did anyway. So that's nice.
I appreciated all the commentary about me looking either unexpectedly in a certain way or like a cave troll. I thought that was good. But yeah, we'll take any and all feedback. I think we've made that very clear on this show.
Yeah, but it was good stuff. So if you're watching on the YouTube channel, we'll try to get to your comments and stuff, and I'll put them up on the screen as we go along and get to any kind of questions later on too. If you are listening just like the regular way, which we love that you're doing that, you can send us questions, you can send us comments, you can send us concerns by emailing us, pac12podcast@gmail.com, or you can call or text us at 424-532-0678. Dave, full disclosure, I forgot to look at our voicemails. So if we have voicemails, I'll try to load them while we're on the show.
That's really on brand. I think it's very perfect.
All the things I have to do to get this stuff ready. Especially that
we're
doing live.
I did some stuff this morning.
You actually did. He put some lines in our Google Doc.
I added some things to the Google Doc.
Which is amazing. Like something that
never
he does.
Considering all the load I have to shoulder on a daily basis to keep this show afloat, to actually add something to the pre-production too, I mean, that's your job. If I do everything else, you do that.
If you went on a cruise and some reason never came back, and I had I would do the exact same amount of work for this show.
It'd be really weird. You keep throwing things to me, and I'm just silent because I'm on a cruise and or dead.
Yeah.
Maybe
it's zombie cruise. All right. You can also tweet at us at Pac-12 Podcast. And you can also go to our website, pac12podcast.com. We posted the survival pool link. Are we
going survivor or survival?
That's a good point. I always say it wrong anyway. Is it survivor?
Well, because you got admonished for going with the suicide pool.
Right. We can't say that.
So we don't say that
survivor
anymore.
Or survival. Survivor's more like the TV show, right?
Throw it into the chat. Hey, chat.
What do you guys want?
Yeah, the 14 people watching right now. Survivor or survival?
Yeah. What do you want to do? But we made our picks in there. If you haven't, the first Pac-12 game is today, so get those in there. Thanks, Matthew, for doing that. But we put a link at pac12podcast.com, and so go check that out. We'll tweet it out again as well, so go check that out. Reddit.com/r/podcast of champions if you want to go over there and chat with other POC listeners. And if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or any of the podcasting apps, please leave us a 5-star rating and positive review. Negative review, whatever it is, as long as it's 5 stars, we don't really care. So, but Dave, what do we got? We got new reviews, right?
We have 4 new reviews. 5-star review. This is from Simp for Dave. Loving it. Best video college football podcast. I've been listening to the POC since the inception, but I'm only just writing this review because they are live streaming on YouTube. Like, comment, and subscribe. 5 stars. Their insight and banter are fun, but what really makes this podcast is getting to see Dave's good looks while they live stream for 2 hours a week. Also needs more Disney princess discussion.
Oh, nice.
That was really sweet. 5-star. This is Slappy con queso.
Okay.
Payoff. It's just David pissing off Ryan. I just listen waiting for the one day when Ryan flips out and scissor kicks David through a window. Actually, he says through a widow, which I think would be much funnier. Like, what if you kicked me through a grieving wife of a deceased man?
Perfect.
Like, I think that would be a funnier image.
Yes.
All the other stats and stuff are cool, too. Thank you for the review. This is from yet another Duck fan, a 5-star review.
Oh.
This podcast now is on YouTube. This is a 5-star podcast. Is it worth watching with your eyeballs on Al Gore's internet? No. Now I have to watch Dave's disinterest and Ryan's try-hard can-do attitude as well as hear them? I'm not sure which is worse of those two, but it's not what I want to fill my eyes with. Did I subscribe? Yes. Do I respect myself less for doing it? Yes. Also yes.
That's awesome. Well, it's great. I mean, it's funny that they're giving us Apple Podcast reviews on the, based on the YouTube show. So,
our listeners, they're funny and they are also perfect listeners. They know exactly what we ask them to do and they do it with aplomb.
The reviews we get, they're so hilarious. Like, it's so good.
They're beautiful. This is from Lake Gamer.
Another one.
Yeah, this is the last one. I said 4, so that was 3. Now we're on to the number 4.
Okay.
So
try to look at the camera.
No,
people are complaining about you not looking at the camera.
It's like a Sesame Street thing. We got to count.
Okay.
Lake Gamer, the best future Big Ten podcast out there. The Honorable Ryan Abraham and the hilarious and communist David Woods are the perfect comedic odd couple as they cover all things Pac-12 and soon other conferences as well. Come for the news and stay for a listen to Ryan drag David kicking and screaming into the future. It's got to be glorious. Love you both. Go Bruins.
Nice.
This is a sweet review.
That was very sweet.
So people want me looking in the goddamn
Michael,
camera?
I put a comment up on the screen. I can, he's like, look, I think I could do it.
Michael
He's
Belzel.
like, more eye contact. So here,
Not gonna happen.
I'll show you guys.
I'm just gonna lock it in.
So he's looking at me. If you can see that, he's looking at me, but
I'm not.
His camera
I'm
is
staring
over
right
here.
there.
His
Why
camera's
couldn't
right
you
here.
put the camera right below your face?
Because this is the way things work. I have 2 cameras. I have one shot. I have cameras all over this place.
Yeah,
man.
but I want to talk to you.
Yeah.
This is a conversation between us. It's not me talking to these people.
Right. It is really.
Oh, is
That's
that
the
what
way
this
it
is?
This
Is that what this format
is?
is? Wait, are you all listening right now?
They are watching, listening.
Oh, I get it now.
It's good. We do have our sponsor is back because we're going to do our picks, which is a big part of what we do. My bookie is back, so it's winning season again. Remember we talk about winning season? It's winning season again. It's officially returned with the NCAA back in action. Plenty of opportunities to win at mybookie.com. And of course, betting on the Pac-12. If you're a seasoned bettor or first timer, MyBookie gets you the most for your money with a double deposit up to $1,000. That's the bonus. Up to $1,000, they will double your deposit. To claim the bonus, sign up and use promo code Pac-12. Same code we've had for the last couple of years on your first deposit. You will instantly double your money over at MyBookie. So if you put $100 in, you get a $200 in your account, and you can bet on all the individual games. That's what I'm going to do again this year. But I'm put the bets up. We're going to make our picks like we normally do, but I will put all my bets in at MyBookie. I put a couple preseason bets, David, like over, under for like, I think under the ASU total. And I think I did under the Stanford total too. I'll have to look and see.
Okay, so the picks there are then over ASU and over Stanford.
No, under for both of those.
Oh, got it. So everyone else should pick over.
Yeah, if you want to, you can do that. But those are the season-long bets. So those are season-long bets. But I'm going to be betting every week with MyBookie. But you can bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. So thanks again to them for being a sponsor of the podcast. So very cool. I'm very, very happy that MyBookie's back. And it was fun last year, like the element of like not just the picks that we like go against each other, but the picks of, hey, I put money on this and stuff. So I did pretty well. I think I doubled my account from last year. So
how'd you do in our picks last year?
Not that good, but I did better at the end.
Right.
This is the important week. I usually like I think I lost once to you, or I lost or twice to you. It's usually that week 1 where all these games are happening, and I do poorly in the out of conference games.
Yeah,
I put a lot of research into last year. This year, I'm doing the picks live as we're doing it. I haven't even thought about any of these. So
that's probably the better plan.
That's the better plan, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
I went into like advanced stats and doing that stuff. And those guys admit they're like, our advanced stats don't really come around until like week 6. So like, okay, well, I'm not going to use them in week 1.
Right.
So I'm just going to use this noodle, which we know is not that.
It's powerful.
Yeah. It's al dente, maybe. It's not. Nice. Well, we're here. Thanks if you're listening or watching live. We appreciate that. If you're listening the regular, the survival poll. Do you want to start with that?
Yeah, Carlos has a good comment.
I'll put it up there.
Yeah, Brian being on the left and Dennis on the right in the split screen, but the opposite in the two shot is peak Pac-12 energy. Love it.
Nice.
That is true.
Yeah. Well, so I mean, we have different. So I have Dave's angle.
What actually,
right at him.
This is probably better because I'm looking to the right all the time because I'm never going to look at this goddamn camera.
Right.
And you're to my right on the split screen. So we're good.
Yeah. And mine. Like I'm looking. So this is my camera. We have the two shot, but we have multiple cameras. The way it's set up is my background's behind me. So I'm talking to Dave, but I have to look forward. He kind of, I guess maybe it's a little harder because he can sort of look at me, but he's not really looking at me. I don't know. That's just the way we do it. But for our tunnel vision show that you can see in the background, you see Dave's beautiful USC tunnel vision background. We'll usually have two people sitting over there. So I'll have a shot of both of them. And then the host will sit in this spot. And we kind of modify it for production. Any UCLA fans out there or anybody, Pac-12 fans, get Dave a backdrop. We can hang something behind him for this show. I am not going to do that work.
This is much. This is much funnier. This is much funnier.
Okay, but I'm cool with it. It's not that I do enough work for this. That's I'm not going to do the background stuff too. Okay.
Oh, hey, No G has a request. Can we get a bird's eye view of David and just have him look up?
This is the closest we have to bird's eye. Like you can look at that camera now. If you
I'm
want
doing
to.
it.
So this is
good?
This is our studio. So
Yeah.
we got light on Dave. We got light on me. You can see all
Because you want to
stuff.
make sure you get as much shininess as you can.
It's funny when Keely was here. She would have me. I can do that right now. She's like, you need to pat your face to get a little bit of the.
No, you need to powder your face, dude. You've got full on TV lighting here.
Yeah, but just kind of take some of the glare away. So, all right. So let's see. Why don't we jump into some of the? I don't know if it's breaking news, but news. I wanted to adjust the power rankings, and Jave said no. So we're going to keep the power rankings the same until something happens.
Ryan,
I wanted to adjust my picks.
No. Let me take everyone behind the curtain.
Okay.
Ryan was embarrassed by his picks last week. Because first he miscounted the number of wins that he had for Oregon State.
Yes.
And he decided, in retrospect, that his picks were foolish, and he wanted to change them.
I never said that. I wanted to change
and
one
I said no, absolutely not. Our picks are sacrosanct. They were written in gold ink on tablets. We announced them from the top of a mountain. They were found on plates out in the wilderness. There are lots of reasons why these picks must not be changed or abridged or corrected in any way.
So we won't change the picks. So, but we're not going to change our power rankings either, even though our picks didn't reflect really what we had in our power rankings, which is very on brand for the show. So we won't do that. There's some Big 12 talk and stuff going on. Well, first there's a report about Washington. We already heard about Oregon's people talking to the Big 10's people behind the scenes. Apparently the same kind of deal was happening with Washington. Not really a big surprise. I mean, you want to keep some options open, but it doesn't necessarily put, George Kliavkoff and, the Pac-12 in a great spot, right? Like it doesn't give him, if he knows his, big brands are talking to the Big Ten, that could hurt him during the media negotiation, for the media rights deal. But also the Big 12 is trying to pull a fast one or, do a little maybe undermine the Pac-12 a little bit. They're moving up their timeline, even though their media rights deal comes up a year after the Pac-12's. They're moving that timeline up so they can try to put something together. One of the aspects of, and most of the reports we saw, Dave, were like, there's not really a financial benefit for Arizona State to leave the Pac-12 and go to the Big 12. But I think the Big 12 is trying to put some numbers together so they would have something to compare against the Pac-12, and maybe it's a better deal or something. And then it would be beneficial for the Arizona schools or the mountain schools to go over there. So this is sort of I think when the Big 12 had Texas and Oklahoma leave, they sort of were able to bunker down and no one else was attacking them. They were just kind of chill. USC and UCLA leave, and they're still like heavy fire. Kliavkoff and the Pac-10, Pac-12 taking heavy fire from everywhere. But any thoughts on this Big 12 idea of moving up their media rights negotiation window?
Well, I think the fact that ESPN is showing the flexibility to do so is actually the bigger news point there, because obviously the Big 12 is going to want to be first to market. But ESPN being willing to do so, that's almost like screw you, the Pac-12, from a major television entity, beyond the actual screw you that was from Fox already. That's got to feel bad. You're getting ESPN doing their negotiating with the Big 12, and you already got screwed by Fox. I mean, what's the Pac-12 going to do? What channel will they be on?
I think ESPN's still going to be a big part of it, right? And that, unfortunately, like those late night windows that a lot of the Pac-12 fans were not huge fans of, that's going to be your biggest selling point, right? I mean, they need that. They need that window. I mean, that's you're not going to have the same amount of competition, and I think for the Mountain West, that's a Fox deal, so they can get some late night for the late night games for them. Through the Mountain West. ESPN is probably going to want to feed that through the Pac-12, so you might see a lot more night games. We'll see. But yeah, I'm curious how this all plays out. I still kind of think that the Big Ten is trying to keep as much chaos going as possible. So it doesn't hurt. I don't think the Big Ten is going to make a move and take Oregon and Washington at this point. I mean, who knows? Anything can happen. I don't think they will, but they're muddying up the waters enough and keeping people on their toes where it's just like, or is someone going to make a move, and maybe the Big Ten making, the kind of stink that the Big Ten's been talking about it further expanding, that might be part of the reason why the Big 12 is moving up this negotiation window. I don't know, but I don't think it's great for the Pac-12, but it's kind of hard to say at this point. I don't think at the end of the day you would like if George Kliavkoff was like, you know what, I'd like the Big 12 to move up their window. I don't think he would have said that. So it's probably not good for the Pac-12.
Is a lot of great news happening for the Pac-12? Like, is anything good going to be happening? Like, is it saying it's not great for the Pac-12? Yeah, nothing is good for the Pac-12 right now.
Waking up in the morning.
Yeah, it's like, oh man, another bad thing happened, or just stasis continued. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think it's a good way to put it. We'll see. I mean, I do have faith that George Kliavkoff can fix this somehow, and in some way. But it's not. The path was hard before, and it's not getting any easier right now. So, did I have anything else? There were we've seen some depth charts that have been released. Did UCLA do it? Does Chip Kelly do a depth chart? Or
yeah,
no?
It was horseshit. Like it was
a lot of oars.
No, it wasn't even oars. It was just made up stuff. Like they've got positions in there that they don't even have. Like they're calling their two defensive ends who are like true defensive ends. They're calling them outside linebackers for some God knows what reason. Apparently they're going to run a 2-5-4 this year. If you go by their 2 deep.
Ooh.
They've got their two nose tackles starting at defensive tackle, which isn't going to happen. It's nonsense.
Huh.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Oh, we had a comment from Alex. I want to put this one up. No. Let's see. It is. By the way, Ryan, according to David on Bros podcast, UCLA is going 11-1, baby. Go Bruins.
I don't remember saying that.
So what? It's set in stone, right?
Yeah. No, I don't remember saying that, but
but apparently you did.
But I do enter a fugue state before I start recording podcasts.
Nice. I like that. Okay. Let's do so if you haven't joined, and we had people that would said Survivor and Survival. So I'll probably say both. For our survival pool, both David and I picked Stanford this week, taking on the mighty Colgate.
By the way, so you know, live stats, our viewership dropped by 15% while you went on that long soliloquy about TV deals.
Perfect.
I'm just saying, I think some people feel the same way about breaking news the way I do.
Right. Or it's 9:30 in the morning and people are like,
hey, we shot back up as soon as we started talking about football again. We're at 20 watching.
We are. You don't even like talking about football. We both picked Stanford this week, but make sure you get your picks in. We put it up on Pac12podcast.com. You can get those in there. Use the same name, the same email every week. You have to put your picks in every week. At the end of this, whoever survives, I think we had like 3 people at the very end last year. The top 3 finishers will get Jockey gift cards. So number 1, you get a Jockey $100 gift card, and then 2 and 3, you get $50 gift cards. So pretty cool stuff if you want to get in there. So, but you have to put, Matthew has to tabulate all this stuff. Don't put a different email every week, a different name every week. Make sure you get your picks in. If you miss a week, you're out. So just do it. It's real simple. Once a week, go in there and make your picks, and you can win some underwear. So
we literally have a Stanford grad hand tabulating this every single week.
Right.
That's not a joke. Well, so please make it easy on him.
I've heard there's some other, if you listen to different sports podcasts, one of the sponsors that's been going around is some kind of pool thing. So there's actual a company that does this. So we should probably look at them and see if they want to, sponsor the show, and they could do it. But that would take.
But why do that when we can have Matthew?
We have Matthew do it. Yeah, Matthew's great at all this stuff. So nice. Any other things? There wasn't any new quarterback news or anything. I think we kind of got through over that. Yeah, I think we got all that stuff right.
There's a new comment you should put up.
Which one? From who?
From JPU
okay,
1979.
I'll put this up here. Yeah. Let's see what we got. What did Jay says? Does you extra service? Yes. So David,
our last show got up to about 750 or so views before today. So.
Yeah, that's not bad. So they're people. Some people will watch. So yeah, how YouTube works. It helps to have. We really just started the channel, so we don't really have any content on there. So I think it'll take a little while to build. And if we're going to do the show at 9:30 in the morning, 9:15 in the morning, it's going to be harder to get live viewers too. But it's good that that a lot of people watched the replay, which was nice. So thank you all for doing that. But we'll keep working on it, and it's fun. It's something to do.
We'll keep doing it. I think working on it is probably bold.
It was I do one every week with Chris Trevino for our the Peristyle podcast, and it does pretty well. But we do it more in the afternoon. I think more people can watch, but we get a lot of replay viewers and stuff. So as we build up the channel, we'll do that. And as the Pac-12 starts dominating in week 1, that then more people are going to watch for sure, because we have to do
Pac-12 Roundup.
I wanted to play this on. It's not really a roundup, but it's preview, because we have week 1.
Roundup. We're rounding them up.
We have week 1 college football. There is a Pac-12 football game, David Woods.
Tonight.
To freaking night. And one tomorrow. And then a whole bunch on Saturday. So we are back.
We're in the time of year where there is, 3.5 times 12? What are we looking at there? We're looking at 42 hours of premium Pac-12 content this weekend.
Pretty freaking amazing.
You watch that math? Did you watch that math happen there, guys?
And I have to change. I have to change our. When we put the content item up on a 24/7 Sports, I had the off-season one where they show the fishing and everything. I have to change it now. It's no more off-season. We're in season. This is in season. But yeah, we'll do our regular preview, all of the Pac-12 games, and we're gonna do an order of which they were played, and then next week we'll do another preview, and then we'll recap all the games and how we did. We'll do our picks against the spread and all that. Like I said, haven't put any thought into the picks. I'm going to look at the lines as David puts them in there, and we'll put them all down. And we'll keep track throughout the season, and we'll let you know how we do at the end. One thing, David, I wanted to go back and look. I only showed us what we predicted for a record last year. I showed what we predicted for a record. But there are scenarios where you could have the record right, but you got a lot of the games wrong. You know what I mean? Where you just said they would win this game.
Look, if you want to get that hardcore about tabulating, you can.
What do you think about that? Should we take a look?
It gets too insane. And the thing is, our week by week is going to change so drastically as we go through the season. I think it's just the base record we're picking. The only reason we do it the way we do it is so we don't screw up, where we do it game by game at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're like, oh, they look like a 6-3 team, and then you forget that you picked them to lose, like you did with Oregon State. And so you would have ended up with like, oh, I think Oregon State's 9-3, but you actually picked them 10-2, dude.
I know. I thought they were 9-3.
Yeah.
I wanted to be 9-3, and somehow I picked them 10-2. So, but whatever.
That's just the way you are.
Go Beavs. Like I like rooting for the Beavs. Like, why not? Like, let's do this. I'm tweeting out the link again, so we'll get a few more. Okay, so why don't we start our picks? And we're gonna go in, like I said, order of which the games are played. First up, we have
Arizona State Sun Devils.
This one is 7 p.m. Thursday. Today.
tonight.
September 1st. The first day of September.
We're in September right now.
September.
Like today is September.
Today is
How
September.
the hell did that happen?
I don't know. Time moves forward inexorably. 7 p.m. Pac-12 Network. Northern Arizona is traveling to Arizona State. A region of the state is traveling down to Tempe, over to Tempe, westward generally from Flagstaff to Tempe.
Okay.
To take on Arizona State. The line on this one is Arizona State minus 24.5. That's for an FCS game.
A lot of points.
That is a lot of points. However, it is an FCS opponent. It is an FCS opponent, however, that beat Arizona last year.
I recall.
It's 102. That's what the temperature is going to be.
Yeah, those Northern Arizona people, they're not used to that.
They're not used to that. They're up in the woods.
They're mountains.
Yeah, they're in Flagstaff. It only gets to like 99 there. Sight unseen.
Yep.
Taking those points, baby.
Me too.
Northern Arizona plus 24.5.
A zillion percent. I mean, they beat Arizona last year. Like, I mean, that just seems like a whole lot.
But he needs a lumberjack sound effect.
Oh.
All right,
wait.
So Northern Arizona. Oh, there she blows. That's not a lumberjack. That's like a train
What is
conductor.
that?
I don't know. That's like a dynamite, like a guy who's dynamiting a mountain. But whatever. There she blows.
I think we should stop the show right now.
No,
It's
dude.
so bad.
Oh, keep it going.
Nice. All right. Let's move over to Friday. We've got
Colorado Buffaloes.
Friday, September 2nd. This is also at 7 p.m. on ESPN. TCU is traveling to Boulder to take on the Colorado Buffaloes. These are the Horned Frogs, so this would be Ribbit.
Ribbit. They're horned though, so they're probably like a little more forceful. Yeah.
Ribbit.
Forceful.
Ribbit.
I like it.
TCU is a 13.5 point favorite. Now, I have TCU winning this football game, but I do not have them winning it by 2 touchdowns. Give me Colorado.
Me too. You wrote 14 in our doc. Is that?
Oh,
We'll just keep it at that.
I'm reading the wrong thing. Yeah, let's use the 14 number.
Okay. Yeah, I think I predicted Colorado to win this game in the preseason. Like, I feel like, so TCU's bunch of turnover there. Colorado gave A&M a game early on. I feel like they might play this at home pretty well. It's kind of a mucky-to-muck game, and then kind of stink for the rest of the season. So I'm going to go with it. I'm getting 14 points. Early in the season, it's hard to turn away points because you just don't know what's going to happen. Could TCU just blow them out? Sure, but I think more often than not, like, you feel pretty secure with those points. Like, you're watching Arizona State. Can you imagine the scenario you're watching Arizona State play, and they're sort of like not getting out of their own way, and you're like, they got to win by 24.5 points, and you're chasing getting to 20. You're trying to score 4 times. Like, is that even going to? And who knows? Northern Arizona gets like a fumble recovery for. I mean, yeah, like I could see us watching these games. You're like, you got to get to 24.5 points before you can win by 24.5 points. So yeah, I like that. Okay. We got another big spread coming up for our early game on Saturday. So we're moving to the weekend. We have
UCLA Bruins.
This will forever be known as 10-game Saturday. Saturday, September 3rd at 11:30 a.m. on the Pac-12 Network. The Bowling Green Falcons. Caw! Caw! That's not a falcon, but it's a bird.
I think you broke my microphone.
Yeah, dude, it blew out my ears. Taking on UCLA at the Rose Bowl. UCLA is a 23-point favorite in this football game. Here, I'm going to give you the down low on Bowling Green because I'm writing the preview.
Nice.
Bowling Green had a pretty good defense last year. Not bad. It was bad, but it wasn't bad for Bowling Green. It wasn't bad for the MAC.
Okay.
But it was bad. They can rush the passer a little bit, and UCLA has some question marks at offensive tackle. It's 23 points. I think I'm leaning towards Bowling Green because I have UCLA winning by 3 touchdowns.
Yeah. It's funny. I don't know if I like that my initial thoughts are the same as yours right now, but the same sort of thing. Like, that's a lot of points. Could you see Chip Kelly running the ball and just having control of the game and then sort of just like getting disinterested later on and not really like, this isn't a game they're like, we're going to try to run up the score. It's sort of like, that's a lot to overcome. So, I mean, if the defense is going to pitch a shutout, the Twins from, North Texas or whatever, like get 5 sacks total or something. I mean, yeah, maybe something like that. But I feel like that's just so many points. Week 1, I don't think UCLA is going to come out and just try to like score 50 on these guys. Bowling Green can do some stuff. So yeah, I'll take the points here too.
The other thing is Bowling Green is also returning like almost everyone from last year.
It's like one of those, the NCAA tournament, like the senior point guard and like, everyone's back and you're sort of like, they're not that good, but they're experienced.
They were 4-8 last year and could easily flip that record.
Yeah. Okay. So I feel a little weird that we got the same picks, but let's do it. Okay. Next up we have
Arizona Wildcats.
Arizona. This is at 12:30 p.m. on CBS. CBS is showing this game.
I like it.
For some reason, CBS is showing this game between Arizona and San Diego State. The Aztecs. Okay, there's a lot I could go with here.
Okay. Brand new stadium.
No, I'm talking about for a sound effect.
Oh, sorry.
I'm still debating this one because I can go like a little bit problematic and go back to like the human sacrifice days. I could just go with the arrow shooting, but I don't think they were big arrow users. I think they were like sling users. Like they would throw little stones at people. I'm going to punt on this one.
Okay.
We'll go thump. That was sort of a stone mixed with a arrow. It could go either way.
Maybe a sling.
Yeah, exactly. So Arizona going to San Diego to take on San Diego State. This is an interesting one. San Diego State, if I'm remembering correctly, blew them out last year.
Yeah, they finished second in the Pac-12 behind
BYU.
Yeah.
Yes. So San Diego State, they're always pretty good. Last year they won 38-14 over Arizona. Very different team this year for Arizona. They've got Jaden DeLora. They've got some actual weapons. It is at San Diego State. I'm gonna take the Wildcats though. I think they've got the potential to win this one outright.
Yeah. Well, it's good that you did, and I'm doing the same. But we both picked Arizona to upset San Diego State in our preseason.
So what can we do? I mean, it's not like our picks,
we're getting 6.5 points.
It's not like our picks could have changed in the last week enough that we would have wanted to justify making a switch in the preamble to the second show of the season.
Right. Well, we could have, but we're apparently not allowed to do that. But I don't think there's much changed here. I'm a little more bullish on Arizona than some other people. Not saying they're going to make a bowl or anything, but I mean, it's a really tough schedule. This is one of those things where you got a brand new stadium. I think it's going to be a tough environment. This is a really tough opener.
On. What is this if not a Wildcats football podcast? Okay?
Yeah.
We are all big Arizona fans this season. We all understand that. And so the only way you get to 9-3 is one step at a time. This is win number 1.
I like it. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Like, that's all you could do. Just go on the road, beat the shit out of some Aztecs that David doesn't have a sound effect for.
I did a noise, sort of a stone falling ineffectually against Cortez's rifles. They weren't rifles; they were
I
muskets.
was going to say.
Rifles weren't invented.
I don't think
yet.
they had rifles, but you do you.
They had big cannons and big hand cannons.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, this could make us both look quite silly because San Diego State is, play really good defense. They can take care of business. But it's hard to get a grasp when you make big changes like Jed Fish did to the roster. Everything. There's just so much more momentum. I feel like they're going to go in there and play well. This was a 1-11 team last year, and we're picking them on the road to beat a good Mountain West team. So we might be silly, or we are silly, and we'll see what happens there. All right, next up, one of the big ones. We got
Oregon Ducks.
This is at 12:30 p.m. on ABC. The Oregon Ducks taking on the Georgia Bulldogs. I don't know why you wrote this as at Georgia. This is a neutral site, 1 hour away from Athens, Georgia, in Atlanta. The Georgia Bulldogs. What does a bulldog sound like? Sort of like because their mouths are all fucked up because they shouldn't have been bred that way.
right. They're like a lot of inbred dogs.
Right. They can't eat. My brother had a
eat?
couple of bulldogs. His wife, she was like she trained like show dogs, and so these two bulldogs, and they were just like these delightful creatures, but like they couldn't eat, they could barely breathe, like they couldn't really move around. Unlike the number 3 Georgia Bulldogs. See how I saved it?
Yeah.
UGA is a 17.5 point favorite over Oregon in Atlanta. This might be a deviation from you. I'm not sure. I'm taking Georgia. I don't like Oregon in this matchup. I don't like no Bix going against that Georgia defense, and I understand the Georgia defense lost like 10 guys. It's still the Georgia defense.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a bit of a bloodbath. So give me Georgia.
I'm going to stick Pac-12, man. I mean, people, like, I got Landanning up there. He knows this Bulldog team really well. He just won a championship there. And it's 17.5 points. Like, I just feel like there's so many points. Like, I'll feel pretty good at kickoff knowing, like, I got 17.5 points to play with. I'm trying to picture myself watching these games because when you pick a team that sort of like isn't like an offensive juggernaut to like cover a huge spread sometimes, like Georgia could dominate the game and win by 14, and so I just think there's enough of a puncher's chance that it's somewhat close. We saw what happened last year against Ohio State where it didn't seem like Oregon had any business being in that one. It's a debut. I'm not picking Oregon to have like a great season, like a good season, but I'm not, 11-1, 10-2 kind of thing. But I'll take those points, and I'll stick with the Ducks. I'm back in the pack, Mr. Woods. Back in the pack.
Look at you.
Trying to do that.
Yeah, you were trying to make that work, and it didn't happen.
It didn't. I could put up a Big Ten logo. No, we don't do that. This is from Big Easy 206. Ryan, it's too early to be drinking. I'm not drinking, Big Easy. Like we need to do like mimosas, but the problem is like Thursday mornings if we're doing the show, like I'm at the gym. I was at the gym.
I literally
like 2 hours
just
today.
dropped my daughter off at school. I come over here and I get lit.
You could do that. I'm at the gym for like 2 hours on Thursday mornings. I come in here, like it's not like going to be an ideal drinking time. Maybe we'll get there, but as of now, not. But so that's the first one we picked differently. Go Ducks! I got to root for the Ducks. All right. Next up, we have
California Golden Bears.
At 1 p.m. on what I'm assuming is the Pac-12 network. It's not listed here. I'm assuming it's Pac-12.
Let me look. Where are
This
we?
is great radio and live show.
Pac-12 Network. Yes.
Yeah. Pac-12 network. It must be one of the regional ones, like Bay Area. UC Davis, the Aggies.
Yeah.
I think it's just some guy saying, "God, farming sucks." Taking on Cal in Berkeley. This is interesting because UC Davis is actually a little bit dangerous. They're always pretty decent. They were even decent like years and years ago, and they've gotten better over time. But Cal Cal's my pick to be like 9-3 this year somehow.
How do you
and
not pick Cal?
I don't know what I did there, but I got to go with my guns. I'm going Cal.
All right.
Cal to cover.
I'm taking Cal too. This is mostly just like an FU to all those people that were like somehow think Cal was going to get like a lot worse from last year. Love me some Chase Garbers, right? I love. But I just think, if they didn't have the stupid COVID game, they go bowling last year. And just, I think for some reason people just got really down on Cal. So it's UC Davis. Come on, they're gonna win. They're gonna go Strawberry Canyon, whatever, and just that's what they call it, right? Is that right?
I don't know.
Taiwan Hill up there, Strawberry something.
My niece is going to fire the cannon after touchdowns and stuff.
No way.
Yeah.
She's
She's one of the Yell Crew people, one of the rally committee people.
Nice.
Yeah.
You have like a smart person in your family?
Yeah, I know. It's weird.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. Let's go with Cal.
Yeah,
and just beat the crap out of UC Davis. So, all right. Let's see. Next up, we have
USC Trojans.
All right, this is on at 3 p.m. on the Pac-12 network. Rice Owls.
pretty good, Owl.
Taking on the number 14 USC Trojans. This is taking place in Los Angeles, where it will be, as some former coach once said, a ball burner. It's going to be hot as shit. It's going to be really hot. It's going to be like tar. It's going to be, the field is going to be on fire. And that's not even in Pasadena. I mean, UCLA is playing on, like, Arroyo. The Arroyo is going to be bad. But USC, they'll be playing. Is it going to be a rice cooker?
Oh,
yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. You like that? You want to hear the line, don't you?
I do want to hear the line.
Yeah. USC minus 32 against Rice. Just too many points. I'm taking Rice.
Nice. I'll go against you on this one too.
You're optimistic. This is so sweet.
I always take whoever's playing. Almost like 95% of the time.
Yeah, but you're believing in the Lincoln Riley era. You're believing he's going to take his blowout tendencies from Oklahoma and translate them immediately to USC.
So,
that is so sweet.
When I picked the Cal game, it sort of was like an indication to all those people that were like kind of down on Cal. I'm like, I'm not down on Cal. This is more of I guess it's a kind of a judgment against how poorly this team was run for the last 7 years. I think Rice can do some things. Like they had a bunch of injuries last year. They bring in guys back that weren't able to contribute. They were 4-8 team too, but I think they're going to be better. Potential bowl game. Conference USA, which is one of those conferences, is just kind of getting just crushed by everybody. But they're going to score a lot of points. So I don't feel as bad about thinking, can USC get to 32? It's more like, is USC going to get to 50? And it's going to be hot. I think that you're going to have some like wilted rice there. So I'm going to take USC, which I don't do. I never cover, I never pick USC for big spreads. But I think they're going to come out. I think Lincoln Riley wants to send some sort of message. They're going to score a bunch of points, and they're going to cover against Rice. It was like 34, 35 before. So the fact that it's 32, I'll take USC.
USC fans in the chat listening out there, what point total would USC have to score in this game for you to put Lincoln Riley on the immediate hot seat? 21 or fewer? What is the number?
Yeah.
Hit us back.
Nice. Okay. Got that one down. Here's the big. This is the most important one for our little Pac-12 podcast show. This could change the outlook.
This is Ryan's narrative building.
This is my narrative building. Dave doesn't believe, but we got
Utah Utes.
4 p.m. on ESPN. Number 7 Utah going on the road to Gainesville to take on the Florida Gators. What does a gator do? No, that's a dog.
Yeah.
What kind of noise does a gator make? Like
they spin, like they grab their prey and spin. I don't know. Like
something like
I
that.
think it's a very subtle noise.
Yeah, they probably don't make a lot of noise.
Yeah, I
They're
think it's more like
reptilian.
there's
like a
kind of
slither,
yeah. It's sort of like the music that plays
What
when
about
you're like looking at the
I think that was
data.
pretty good. Like, what do you think? Is that pretty good?
I could go with that. Yeah.
Or we could just go with the big dumb chant they do. Da-da-da-da-da. Go Gators!
Oh yeah. Or you could do
Da-da-da-da.
the-
Yeah.
That's more visual, but
Yeah.
now we can do visual because
All right. Well, that was good.
we're on the YouTubes.
Utah is a 3-point favorite. Do I have them as a 3-point favorite in our actual doc?
You have yes.
Okay. This is a tough one. I don't love going at Florida. I don't love that it's an actual new coach for Florida. You don't know. They could be inspired. Florida always has talent. Utah, it's going to be a weird kind of environment. You know, it's going to be humid. It's going to be hot. It's going to be, 90,000 screaming fans or whatever. I'm going to take Florida.
David Woods.
I mean, I picked him.
Crush him in the chat, people. Crush him in the chat. Here, Big Easy, I'm going to put up his score because I agree with this one. Dude, take the Utes. It's only 3 points. Maybe you got to push. But Utah's going to win this game. They're going to win. This is all important for the Pac-12. You need Utah to go into Florida. The best team in the Pac-12 versus a mediocre team in the SEC. We need this one. George Kliavkoff needs to get some wins. This would be a mighty, mighty blow to the Pac-12. I don't think we have our good friend Kyle Whittingham, who comes on the show all the time. Well, maybe he's never on, but our good friend Kyle Whittingham, I think he wants this badly. I think Cam Rising wants it badly. You saw what he was able to do last year. Give me the Utes. I think they go into the swamp and take care of business. And
Bill
good.
Connolly's numbers have this as Utah by 0.2 points.
Okay. Again, Bill Connolly's numbers don't take into consideration that Florida changed their coach. There's a lot of stuff that doesn't go into that.
Uh-huh.
It's a game. I'm not looking at those numbers anymore early in the season because I did that last year and it was like Ixnay on number A. Okay. We got another Big Easy says Utah all the way. Oh, I'm sorry, I put the wrong one up.
Wow.
I put the wrong one.
Yeah, Big T37.
Why did that go up? I don't know. Sorry, that didn't work. But yeah, E Castro says Utah all the way, which I like it.
Big T37 says, "Who is the hobo next to Ryan?"
I'll try to put that one.
Yeah, we
up
get
there.
that one up there.
Right over there.
He knows I'm Ryan, right?
The comments are like, wait, he's like 20 years old. It's pretty funny.
I'm looking good, dudes.
No, how old? I'm like 15 years older, right?
You're what, 52?
51.
51? Yeah, you're 15 years older.
Okay, nice. Okay, let's see. So we did that one. Next up, this is our survival pool pick. We got
Stanford Cardinal.
I got to figure out what Colgate is. Hang on. All right, 5 p.m. The Colgate Raiders?
Are they?
Yeah, they're the Raiders.
I mean, how would you just knock out something?
Should we just make? Yeah, let's just go.
Yeah, toothpaste sound. Duh.
Yeah, like
Or like a drill, like a dentist thing, like something like. Yeah. That sound sucks. By the way, holy shit, that sound sucks.
I was at the dentist the other day to get a crown on, and it was
that's the
man,
worst.
I was listening to that for so long, and then you smell it too, like the little burning of your like gums. It's very cool.
Yeah, there was Cosby. I think had like a funny one, He was like, you know when he screwed up when he goes rinse or something. Like old.
Rinse out all of your blood and viscera.
Yeah.
All right. Well, speaking of blood and viscera, 5 p.m. on the Pac-12 network, Colgate is traveling to Stanford. Stanford is a 41.5-point favorite. I'm going to take Colgate, no doubt. However, how bad must Colgate football be that they are a 41.5-point dog to Stanford?
Yeah. I mean, the sucky part is I know nothing, like literally nothing about Colgate. I do know how many points 41.5 are, and I've seen Stanford.
They couldn't score 41 points in a practice against Air.
That's the problem. But is Colgate worse?
Colgate won their last football game. They beat Fordham by 14 points, and they scored 45 doing so.
Okay, just give me Coley. I mean, I don't know why I can't believe we have lines on all of these games. But 41.5 points, just like this would be the pain of watching Stanford. So what's going to happen? Stanford's going to win the game, right? But then Stanford's going to come out in the first quarter, the first drive, and they'll be 3rd and 6, and they'll run off tackle and have to punt or something, and we'll be if you pick this game, you're driving yourself crazy. David Shaw, come on, try to score. So I would rather have the pain of, holy cow, Stanford's running up and down the field and scoring every time, I'm never going to cover this game, than watching a painful, it's like a crock pot or something, just slowly cooking when you need them to score
Let me
fast.
give you some context.
Okay.
Right, so the last probably comparable game was at Boston College to open last year, and they lost 51-0. However, Boston College was better than Stanford was last year.
True.
So it's David Shaw. I could see them winning this 35-0.
Right.
And just tapping the brakes.
And feeling really good
feeling
about it.
super smug about it.
Super smug. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's just so many. That's so many points. Okay. Next up, we've got the
Washington State Cougars.
We need to get the growl one back, but we'll see. We'll see how they do. But if they come out playing well, then I'll get the growl back. Because I have to do some work to get that back. But we still have the meow.
Whatever, just mewling from you.
Yeah.
6:30 p.m. on the Pac-12 network. The Idaho Vandals. Well, why do these people keep breaking our shit? Taking on Washington State in Pullman. I just made myself laugh with that one. Washington State is a 28.5 point favorite. With the hook, I am going Idaho.
Going Idaho?
Yeah. Washington State's winning this by 4 touchdowns and not a point more.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, baby.
I was listening to No Truck Stops, and they didn't know how close Idaho, Moscow and Pullman are sister cities, so it's 8 miles away. And I think they were asking how do you fly into it? You can't really do that, but you can. I think they have a small muni airport or something. But if you go there, you're staying in Moscow. There's the place that the hotel or whatever is in Moscow. You have to drive across the border. But a lot of people stay at Spokane or whatever. But I feel like this is going to be a Coug team. You got the Coug grade. I love that you have a defensive coach who goes out and gets a fun offense and is hey, go score. You get Cameron Ward, who's one of the most exciting players in college football. I feel like they're going to come out and just whoop on some Vandal ass and score a shit ton of points. I'm taking Washington State in this one. I think they're going to have some fun and score a lot. And Idaho's no good. Give me Washington State.
A lot of requests in the chat for me to do the Cougar growl.
Oh, okay. Hold on,
So,
I'll put that up there.
All right, you ready? Are you ready for it?
I'm ready.
Is that pretty good?
That's all right. Yeah, you're kind of getting when you do the growl, get a little further away from the mic because you're kind of
Because I'm blowing out the.
You're blowing shit out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just
But it fixes itself. It repairs. It's
It
a self-correcting system.
It is, but we don't need to We want to continue to hear your dulcet tones, but if you blow the mic out, it's going to be harder to do.
Hey, speaking of blowing things, why did you post that GIF of the fish blowing you after you caught that?
Oh, that was pretty funny. Yeah, yeah. It was up here, it was in my
Yeah. But did you notice
midsection.
its motion?
Yeah,
It was bobbing.
it was bobbing. It was
Yeah.
on my Instagram story.
Right.
Do you like Mai? Are you a fan?
Yeah. I mean, I like Maui Mai. I don't like it blowing me.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
It was good. I should pull up a picture of that. So,
Yeah.
let's see. Okay, next up, what do we got? We have. Where are they?
Oregon State Beavers.
This is on at 7:30 p.m. on ESPN. The Boise State Broncos?
Broncos, yeah.
Broncos? I don't know. Taking on Oregon State, the Beavers, ESPN. Oregon State is a 3-point favorite over the Boise State Broncos. Give me those Beavers.
Ooh.
Give me those Beavers. Boise State's on the downturn. They are not what they once were. They will probably not again be what they once were.
Wow. Okay.
So yeah, give me Oregon
Diablos?
State. Yeah, he sucks.
I don't know if he sucks.
He's not good.
Yeah.
He's big ass.
I'm going to continue the trend of Oregon. I mean, if I'm picking them to go 10-2, they're beating Boise State. So give me the Beavs. They do really well at home. I know the stadium's basically cut in half. I think the attendance is like 27,000 or something, or 25,000. But yeah, tough place to play in Corvallis. I think Oregon State comes out. I think their defense is going to be better than what we saw last year. They're going to be able to run the football, good offensive line. I think they can win this game. I think they can control it, push Boise State around. And, yeah, not that many points. So I will take the Beavs as well. Back the freaking pack. Okay. We got one last one.
Washington Huskies.
The Husky Washingtons, 7:30 p.m. on FS1. Kent State is the Golden Flashes. What the hell is that? I mean, just right?
Yeah.
Something like that? I don't know. Kent State traveling to Washington. Washington is a 23.5-point favorite. Kent State was pretty good last year, if I'm remembering correctly.
They were?
They were decent. They went, let's see, they finished 7-5, 6-2 in whatever bullshit conference they're in. They lost to Iowa and Texas A&M. They played both of those. Those are two top 10 teams. Didn't lose like respectably, but they only lost by 23 at Iowa. They lost by 31 at Texas A&M. I think they hang a little bit closer with Washington. I think Washington wins, but I don't think it's going to be by 24 points. So give me Kent State.
Is it Kent State University?
Yes.
Okay. I just want to make, if I wrote KSU. So you're taking Kent State. I feel like Kayla DeBoer coming up to UW, the offense is instantly going to be a lot better. I think they'll be able to play good enough defense against Kent State. I know they're kind of hanging, but I feel like Washington's going to win by 24. So 23.5, not quite enough. If it was like more than 24, if it was 24.5, I think I would take Kent State. But I think Washington can win by 4 scores.
All right. Tiebreaker for this week, because there are 12 games, right? So the tiebreaker is guess the attendance at the UCLA Bowling Green, 11:30 a.m., Labor Day Saturday, 104-degree football game. The official announced attendance. So you got to they bake in like 3,000 people who are probably dead into the official count.
Alex put in, going out, we talked about Research Stadium, 27,000. I think that's the number he says. More than what will be at the Rose Bowl. That heat. Excuse me.
Bless you. Live radio, baby.
Live. We got. Okay, so I feel like.
So the Rose Bowl official attendance, I think, has like a max of like 88 or 90,000 these days.
Okay.
But UCLA does tarp both end zones, I think, these days. So max attendance is probably no more than 50.
All right. There's some factors to consider. One,
absolutely no energy in the Chip Kelly era.
8-4.
Yeah.
Building momentum. 2, the coach of the future, the coach is going to bring you into the Big 10. That's right. We're talking about Chip freaking Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
Got an extension in the offseason.
Sure.
There is so much energy around this team. So much energy. Yeah, I'm going 55,000.
You think they're going to actually be sitting on the tarps in the end zones?
50. People are excited for the Chip Kelly era.
Is this Price is Right rules?
No.
I'm going 25,000.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
25,000 will be the announced. The actual will be something like 17.
We don't need a tiebreaker because we just pick every week. You know how this works.
Yeah, but I just wanted to
Just throw that out there.
Yeah, I wanted to throw that out there because it's going to be so bad.
Big Easy says scattered 13,300.
Yeah, it's going to be dicey, dude. It's not going to be good.
Okay. So why don't we do this? Why don't we take a quick
Why
break?
don't we do this?
Let's take a quick break. I haven't looked at the questions at all. I don't think we have any voicemails, so that's good. But let's take a quick break, and we'll come back and answer your questions. All righty, we're back here on the podcast of Champions. We got to get to questions. When was our show? We were, let's see, the 25th. So let's see. Oh, we got a bunch of questions, it looks like. I think Ross is the first one. He says, switch it up. Hey, guys, which combo would you rather have this season? Chip Kelly with Caleb Williams or DTR with Lincoln Riley? What do you think, Mr. Woods?
I don't really want to switch them up. I think that's fine how it is. I don't think it would be significantly different with either one, frankly. I think Caleb Williams is really good. I think DTR as a fifth year is really good.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I am.
What would they do? So
I don't think it would be that much different.
Okay.
Like, I don't know. Do you?
I mean, I think Chip Kelly's running the ball more and Lincoln Riley's throwing it more, so you'd see more of like DTR's arm, probably.
Yeah, but would he with DTR?
Maybe not.
I don't know. I mean, what did he do with Kyler Murray, sorry.
I mean, he threw the ball.
He threw the ball, but he also ran the ball quite a bit.
He did run a bunch, yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't have a good answer to that one. I don't think it's like significantly, because I think Chip Kelly, for all of his warts, is still like a pretty good offensive coach.
Yeah. That's why he's going to lead UCLA.
If you do it, I'm going to jump
into
across
the Big
this
Ten
table
and
I'm
beyond.
going to murder you.
Into the Big Ten and beyond.
Do you want to give them the top view again so they can see the distance that I'm going to have to leap?
Chip Kelly.
Yeah.
Into the Big Ten and beyond.
I will launch myself over the table.
Okay. Like right there.
It'll be a sight to see.
Yeah. I would like to see that.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Next up.
Yes.
We have this is a text message.
Okay.
Hey guys, great podcast. Love the ranking of the Pac-12 and your insights. Suggestion: stop swearing like shit, goddamn, etc. Cheapens your knowledge and the work you have done. Be professional regardless of the freedom to this on this platform. You will only increase viewership. From jail. So here's my feeling on this.
Oh, you're gonna have some good.
Yeah, I do have some feelings. So one, people can have their own proclivities. They can have their own opinions on these sorts of things. You don't want to listen to swearing. You don't want to swear. That's fine. I respect it. Don't tell me. Don't tell me how to live my life. These are just words, guys. They're just words. They sound, honestly, so they're some of our best words. Like, there is so much you can pack into a fuck. Like, there's so much different stuff you can go with there. Like, it can be, additive. It can have its own meaning just by itself. Like, there have been many comedians who have done better bits on this than I'm going to do right now. But the point is, these words are good. They're evocative. They tell us a story all by themselves. I think failing to use the full extent of the English language is a failing on your part due to something you learned when you were 4. So, work it out. But no, do I try to drop an F-bomb every other word? No.
Right.
But as a little bit of color, a little bit of something, a little bit of spice. What the hell? Why not?
I think it makes more of an impact if you don't swear that often. And, I think we do a pretty good job of not swearing very much on the show, but it'll happen every once in a while. It's just sort of like, you don't avoid it at all costs, but we don't like incorporate it into everything we say. So I got one of those emails or a PM on my site, Dave, about, hey, you and Chris, you say like every other word. What do you like 13-year-old girls or whatever?
Yeah.
And it's just like sometimes you don't have the energy to like just go into like I'm like it's conversational. I'm not trying to say like. And if you're talking like a Valley girl, like oh my God, like something like that. Yes, but if it's just conversation and you say or you say but or you say so or you say like sometimes, that happens. And if you get rid of all those little words, it doesn't sound like you're having a conversation. It sounds like you're writing prose, and like that's not what we're doing.
Yeah, no, it sounds like a prepared radio performance.
Yeah,
it's just no, that's not how people talk.
I don't enjoy the podcast. For me personally, like I used to listen to the Freakonomics podcast sometimes.
Uh-huh.
It's very produced. Like it is very, very produced. It feels like you're taking away any sort of words. And almost like you want to hear fully what the other person has to say, but they're like trying to fit it into a 45-minute window.
Right.
So you're cutting things out. You're like, I would just like to hear that entire conversation instead of cutting things down and breaking it up, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, I don't. The part I don't get about people who critique word usage in any form, but the swearing, but also the like, it's just they're just words. And why does there have to be a why does everything have to fit your preferred way of listening to things? Just if you don't want to listen to me dropping the occasional fuck or shit or goddamn, then don't listen to this show. I mean, it's very simple. It's very simple. But also, like, are we saying that every other word? No. There's a lot of other words in here.
It is funny that this question caused us to swear more.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm being explanatory.
Yes. No, but like when people bring stuff up sometimes, like you've brought attention, like you're like, I don't like that is happening. No one even knew it was happening. It would, if you would have just left it alone, it would have been fine. And then you brought it up, and now everyone's talking about it. Like you've brought attention to the thing you don't like because you felt the need to complain.
I'm very pro words. Like I like words. Yeah. They're good. So use them all. They all have meaning. They all have value.
Yeah.
All words.
All right. Let's see. I think next I got Frank in Sacramento. He needs some advice.
Okay.
Mr. Woods. I would go to you. If I need advice, you are the first person I would avoid talking. I mean, not the first. I need counseling as to how to live in the present. As soon as Clay Helton got fired, I wrote off the team and started thinking about a new coach. As soon as Lincoln Riley got hired, I wrote off the college postseason and started thinking about the 2022 season. As soon as SC and UCLA announced they moved to the Big 10, I wrote off the Pac-12 and started thinking about 2024. How do you guys stay focused?
How do you guys stay focused? Is this his first time listening to the show?
Yeah, we're definitely not focused.
I don't know. I'll be honest. So my serious answer to this question is my what would you call it? My anticipation for this football season is probably lower than it's been in a long time.
Really?
And it's not just UCLA being in like the just death throes of the Chip Kelly era and likely to go like 9-3 this year, which is a really weird way of dying.
More going up.
I will kill you. I will jump over this and I will murder you. But it's I think a lot of it is the move to the Big Ten. I'm becoming more and more dissatisfied with the very idea of playing Rutgers the more I think about it. And yeah, I think that does diminish the level of enjoyment for me, which isn't really necessarily an answer to Frank's question because he's a USC fan. So, of course, he's probably like gung-ho about this because none of you people think about anything other than money.
Troy Aikman doesn't like it.
Troy Aikman doesn't like it. Bill Walton doesn't like it.
Oh, did we hear from him? I didn't know.
Yeah, Bill Walton, he was asked about it, and he just said, I love UCLA. And that was all he said.
Wow.
Yeah.
Which means I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't like it. So, yeah, I'm feeling weird going into this football season in a way that I haven't felt in a while. And it's like, I want to watch these. I want to continue to watch Northern Arizona play one or both of the Arizona schools every year and either lose or win in really funny fashion. And I can
still do that.
Yeah, but there won't be a point in doing it, and it's already pointless. Like, don't get me wrong, this show is stupid, but it'll be even more so doing so. And,
gotcha.
Yeah, it's just it's a thing lost.
Yeah, Frank, I would say it's one of for me, like personally, it's been a great offseason as far as like business-wise goes. Like if you go for years and years of the team you cover making,
as I said about USC people,
poor decisions, it's sort of like, diminishes the work you do, and people would not want to read as much stuff, even though we're doing the same kind of things. Then the administration starts making good decisions, and it makes your life a little bit easier because more people want to read what you have to say. And so it's been good. They listen to the shows, all that kind of stuff. So I think just to see what this era looks like, it's a perfect time. If you're a USC fan, you get Lincoln Riley in. If he's going to live up to the expectations, you're going to have a fun couple years in the Pac-12 and then build on that to go to the Big 10, And I think, same with UCLA, like to finally get over the out-of-conference game hump and, getting to a winning record. Now, Chip Kelly's got, a pretty difficult schedule this year, but I think 9-3 is a big accomplishment. Boom, you set yourself up. Then only one more year in the Pac-12, and you're into the Big 10, and, Chip Kelly leading the way. I think you should be excited if you're a UCLA fan too.
All right, so I'll be honest with you. I was happy for my USC friends that they got Lincoln Riley and they were going to have a good time. But now I am so looking forward to like the first just like, wait, what just happened? Loss of this season. And there's going to be at least one where it's like Oregon State beats them by like 3 touchdowns and everyone's like, what happened? And I'm so looking forward to that just for this podcast.
Right. I think there'll definitely be one. If there's just one, it'll probably be fine. But the shows I'm listening to, you can tell, like, there are people that are just completely like, sort of like, I'm not going to buy that USC. I'm not going to buy like that it's back, right? But the fact that so many people are saying that makes me believe that it is back more because you were getting all this pushback. You're like, I don't know. It could be, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how they go. But it's, from watching what's going on there, it's night and day from where they were before. So it's just sort of like you knew all that potential. Now is that potential there?
Are you people listening to this guy right now?
I'm just saying.
This is obnoxious.
Well, hey, I'm pumping up UCLA too. I think they're going to be great. I think they're going to win 9 games and re-extension for Chip. Perfect. Let me put his picture up again.
Do it.
Chip. There he is. Just so smug at this thing.
Doesn't he look beautiful?
It is great. I think is it your turn or is it my turn?
Who knows?
No, I just read Frank. You're next.
All right, this is from Perk. Big Ten fan bases, Illinois schools. All right, so Perk continues his journey through the Big Ten fan bases for us. Illinois, not much to talk about here. The football program hasn't achieved all that much, and the Illinois fan base's apathy toward it is quite warranted. Not too bad when it comes to basketball either. If they ever get annoying, it is mainly over the fact that they can't get over Bill Self leaving for Kansas damn near 20 years ago. Northwestern. If Zodiac Killer and his pals from Stanford had a fan base in the Big Ten, it would be Northwestern, which seems to check out as some of them probably went there for grad school anyway. Northwestern fans do not travel outside of Evanston. Even if the game is at the United Center or Soldier Field, where the Bulls and Bears play, they aren't going. If Northwestern fans ever bother to get hyped up for their team before a big game or after a win, it is through some weird social media post where the intent is clearly to tell you they went to Northwestern and not at all about the football team.
That is so true.
Congrats on navigating yet another Pac-12 offseason. Cherish these moments. It's only a matter of time before your media day trips take place in beautiful, tropical, sunny Indianapolis instead of LA Live. Only then will the days of Champagne Larry won't seem so bad.
Yeah, nice. Good
Perk.
one. That is funny. Yeah. It's one of those things. There's certain people that they want to tell you which school they went to, and Northwestern people are in that group for sure. Thanks, Perk, for that one. This is, I don't know who it's from. Paul, choosing a bad unit. Hello, champions. Random football question unrelated to the Pac-12. That's perfect for this show. If you could make a team that was A+ across the board, except one position group on offense and one on defense, and they would be C-, which position would you choose? I'm thinking tight end and safety. Thoughts?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so defensively, I think the one that you can get away with is defensive backs generally and probably safety. Safety is probably correct because if you've got a good pass rush, if your defensive line is really good, it fixes friggin' everything.
Yeah.
Especially at the college level. because quarterbacks are not going to be able to get it out as quickly. So I think safeties, because they're the ones who would be challenged deep by anything you're doing. And if your defensive line is so good that you can get after the passer, or if you're in 3-4 and your outside linebackers are that good, it won't matter.
Yeah.
So safety is probably correct on the defensive side. On the offensive side, I mean, tight end is extraneous. I feel like it's kind of a bullshit answer because you can just run a spread without a tight end, and that doesn't matter. So let's say receivers, tight ends combined, offensive line, quarterback, and running back.
Yeah.
And I think in that one, I'm taking running back.
I think running back is the right answer.
Yeah, because if your offensive line is great, I mean, as we saw with USC in the mid-2000s, if your offensive line is great, you can get a C+ running back all the way to the NFL.
Yeah. No, I think that I mean, I might go if you have a strong defensive line and you have a strong secondary, one of those inside linebacker spots, if it was like C- or something, like I think you could get by with that. That safety's coming up making tackles, and if you have a C- safety, like I guess you could potentially get beat deep where you're not giving up points.
Yeah, but again, you've got an A+ defensive line. How often are they even having the time to throw deep?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those situations where, like, if you said, okay, you have a not as great defensive line, but your linebackers are amazing. They just clean everything up, and your secondary is amazing. You could kind of, but yeah, maybe safety or one of the inside linebacker spots or something.
Who's letting off depth charge farts next door? Are you hearing that?
I don't know. Yeah. We're kind of isolated in our studio.
Yeah.
It's coming from like over there.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
It's me. I'm farting.
Are you doing it?
Yeah.
It's like someone doing work outside.
True.
We're almost done.
Are we?
Yeah.
This is from Nathaniel. Questions.
Cool name.
Nathaniel from Marietta, Georgia. Hey guys, I hear a lot about getting SDSU, SMU, Fresno, and Boise to join the league. I feel like all of those will water down the brand more than build it up. With the Pac-12 down and humbled by the exit of the LA market, would they try and steal BYU from the Big 12? I know that the religious thing is still there, and I've always heard Stanford doesn't want them. BYU isn't a Utah brand. It is a West Coast, and to a much lesser extent, a national brand. They have a lot of fans in Arizona, California, Idaho, and Utah. To me, it is a no-brainer for BYU to join the Pac-12 over the Big 12, with all their alumni living in the Pac-12. There are more BYU alumni in Mesa, Arizona alone than all of Oklahoma, Iowa, Kansas, and West Virginia combined. Anyways, BYU has the on-field performance and the brand to actually boost the Pac-12. Any chance either party would do it? Thanks, Nathaniel. And P.S. Dave, where did you live in Atlanta? Nathaniel, I lived in Marietta. I lived on Delk Road.
Nice.
So we were neighbors. Okay, so BYU, I think a big problem is the religious thing, but I think even maybe a bigger problem, and nobody's going to like this answer, but I think it's politics. BYU is a more conservative institution than literally anywhere else in the Pac-12, and I don't know that they're necessarily aligned in a lot of their approaches to different things, because the thing is, COVID is a great example, because the Pac-12 schools were more or less in lockstep on that stuff, like even Utah to an extent at the beginning of it. I don't know that BYU is going to be. It's just a different thing, and I'm not saying that should be precluding BYU's entry. I'm just saying I think that's the reality. I think there's a couple of factors that are big that will be difficult to surmount even in this new look Pac-12, where they're probably going to lower their standards in a lot of ways. I don't know if that's part of it, if that's ever going to be part of the package for them.
Yeah. I don't know what sort of deals were signed, if any of those. Is Houston on the table, or Cincinnati, are any of them on the table that the Pac-12 could kind of sneak in there? I don't know. That would be a power move. I'm just not sure. I haven't read anywhere or talked to anyone that kind of knows. Is there some binding agreement already signed, or is it an agreement to leave? I'm not sure.
So here's what I think the Pac-12 should do.
Okay.
All right. So there's a couple of schools that are in the footprint. I think they're pretty good brands. They've got good history for sure. They're in a really big media market. And I think what they should do is they should offer them maybe a larger cut of the percentage to help shore up the rest of the league. You know, because I think if you anchor the league in a certain media market, like a really big one,
yes,
I think that provides long-term stability.
Seattle?
Yeah. that provides long-term stability. So
Tucson.
Vegas, UNLV. UNLV and Bishop Gorman are gonna. Bishop Gorman's rising up a couple of levels.
Yes.
Yeah.
They could jump. Skip FCS and just go.
Yeah, I mean, but there's no no-brainer except for somehow begging USC and UCLA to come back.
Yeah. We have a YouTube question from Anthony. David, on a scale of 1 to 10, if DTR goes down, how concerned are you on the quarterback depth at UCLA?
The depth is good. I'd be concerned just because I think there's a drop-off to number 2. I mean, you're going from a fifth-year guy to a guy who has played, only a game really at the college level, and Ethan Garbers. But he's a Garbers. You know how much we value that here on the POC.
Yeah. MVP
so
of the league.
I think, I'd feel mildly concerned, but I think they actually do have a lot of pretty decent quarterback depth. I'm not at all really concerned about the succession after DTR. It's just anytime you have a quarterback go down in season, it's not like it's a seamless transition.
Yeah. I think we might have got one more at the last minute. Do you want to check?
In the email?
Yeah.
Let me look. Oh, yeah. All right. This is from, who knows, a 435 number. In 2014,
Text
there was
message. Text message.
there was serious debate about whether the Pac-12 South or the SEC West was the best division in college football. Since then, the reputations of each have gone in opposite directions. My questions: what games would have made the most difference in changing the dwindling reputation of the Pac-12, i.e., Oregon winning against Ohio State in the national championship, or Utah beating Oregon in 2019 to possibly make the playoff? So, are these things related? These concepts? Because I would say they're unrelated.
You think they're unrelated?
Well, so the reason the league has fallen off since 2014 has almost nothing to do with individual games. It has everything to do with recruiting, coach retention, coach hires, Jim Mora having a mental breakdown, USC continuing to hire dog shit, lots of things. But, I mean, the 2013 season, the Pac-12 was arguably the best league in the country. And I don't think it was too far off in 2014. And a big part of that were the coaches, and a lot of them were in the beginning stages of their tenures, and they were doing really good things. Like, remember how good ASU was in that second year for Todd Graham?
They were good.
They were really, really good. Taylor Kelly, I think Jalen Strong, those guys. Do you remember how good UCLA was in 2013? Remember how good Stanford and Oregon still were in 2013?
Yeah.
And what happened was Helfrich fell off horribly. David Shaw fell off pretty rapidly. USC continued to just be an absolute dumpster fire. UCLA hired a coach in Jim Mora who had 3 really good seasons, and then he had problems.
Yeah.
Just a lot of different factors. So no single game is what my point is actually made that big of an impact. Now that said, if Oregon had won the national title in 2014, who knows what would have happened? Maybe the floodgates open a little bit more in recruiting, but I don't think it would have. I don't think it would have drastically changed the outlook for 2015 or 2016. I think Helfrich was still going to probably implode due to a real inability to recruit and develop quarterbacks.
Yeah. I mean, I think you needed the national championship thing, like that would, it built up the SEC more. But if it was broken up, if all those SEC championships were kind of broken up, not just by like an Ohio State or a Clemson, but also by a Pac-12, I think it's like, distributing the recognition throughout. Maybe it doesn't allow the SEC to just jump up and, win every year. And it keeps some of the focus on the Pac-12. But you're right. I think there were other bigger problems, but it certainly would have helped to have like that championship there. And then maybe, just win that game. What Oregon lost, was it to Auburn that year? Was that Cam Newton? Which year was that? That was the Cam Newton, or that was in
2012. That was 2011. 2010 was the loss to Auburn.
Okay.
And then 2014 was where they lost to Ohio State.
Ohio State, yeah, who ended up winning. Yeah. I mean, that's a tough one because if they could have won a year that the SEC team won, it would have been better. But if the Pac-12 won instead of the Big Ten, it's sort of like, I mean, it's still – I think we needed more years where the SEC wasn't winning So if Oregon or Stanford or someone could have made a run the following year or the year before, I think it would have been even better. But
Right.
all right, I think that's our show.
Is it?
Yeah,
Are we done?
I think we're done.
This was great.
We had a bunch of people watching. Thank you.
Yeah, a lot more
Appreciate
than last
that.
time.
Yeah, it was good, and we'll keep building on that. So I hope you guys enjoy this. I'll try to get some more graphics and stuff to put up there. You know, I have coaches' pictures. I'll try to get some pictures from games. We'll put some fun things up there and just let you guys see what's going on. But you can see all our different. You know, you can see
All the different facial
look at
contortions.
David. Look at
the
right at the camera. Look at the camera.
Look at me. Look at the different ways I scratch my head. How often I check my phone.
Yeah.
Whether there's a buzz or not, I have to look at it because I'm addicted to it. There's so much that you can see just by tuning in on YouTube.
To the POC, you missed an opportunity for alliteration. Like
No, I wanted to talk about YouTube.
Oh.
You know, I want to give our brand sponsor here.
But you could have said POC. Whatever. But that's going to wrap things up. Yeah. He is David Woods. I am Ryan Abraham, and we are the Podcast of Champions. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will talk to you next time.
Goodbye.